Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. Today on the program, Nigerian Navy promises improved protection of Nigeria's more than 100 fields against oil thefts, as well as crackdown on illegal refining activities across the country. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mayor Akikbelu. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. It is less than a week since campaigns began ahead of the 2023 general election, and rumors have started spreading. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has denied speculations about his health and declared that he is not only hale and hearty, but also ready to serve Nigeria. Asiwaju Tinubu, who appeared in a video posted on his verified Twitter handle, was seen riding a spinning motor, a bike. But actually, I saw that video yesterday, and I don't know. Before now, the speculation, the insinuations about the state of health of Bola Tinubu has been called to questions, and this will tell us something.
Well, until the elections are over, and even long after the elections are over, people who see Bola Tinubu's age and speculations about his state of health as a tool will continue to use it. They will continue to use it. But for me, I don't know how you determine a man's state of health when you are not his doctor, you don't have access to his medical history. This person attends meetings all over the country. There's a wedding, of people that he is close to. Whether it's in the farthest part of the country, he goes there. This man flogs his body. He doesn't sleep until like 4 a.m. Even in the days leading to the primaries, some governors at 6 a.m., they are at his door. They want to see him. Even at our own age, at this age, I don't think I can flog my body like that. I don't think so. That I will be doing meetings every day. I won't sleep until like 4 a.m. By 6 a.m., they're already waiting to see me again, to start another round of meetings. And everywhere I hop into an airplane, I'm going to consult people. Nobody consulted as widely as he did before the primaries. That was why I'm not surprised that he defeated them by such an audacious margin. For those that even managed to win on social media, win some phony opinion polls, as if the people are the delegates. We saw where they ended up. So I don't think that anything that we say will stop people who think that, look, this is a weapon to use. Let's keep hammering on the fact that he's too old. Let's keep hammering on the fact that he's not good enough for the job. Let's keep hammering on the fact that he's not fit. It's just trying to ram this down their throat. That's their tool. They will not change. Look, there are already somebody who said, who claimed to be a doctor. We heard what that fellow was saying, that, look, it is not by riding a stationary bicycle. I mean, even when you go, either for good or for bad. So I think that this will continue. We may not need to bring out any workout video of his workout session, but in future. But I'm telling you that the people have made up their minds to demarket him by pointing at his age, by saying that, the other day, remember their claim that he even defecated on his body. One of the most ridiculous and asinine claims that anybody could make. That same dress that they claimed he wore, where he defecated on his body, was what he wore to go and see the Akarigbo of Remo, was the same dress that he wore to Ilaro to see the traditional ruler of Ilaro. So for a person at that level, for a person of means, does it mean that things will be so bad that even after he stood on his clothes, you cannot change it over a number of hours?
Mayor Akipelu, you see, in 2015, people said, this kind of narrative, this was the kind of narrative some people were pushing about President Muhammadu Buhari. The last time I saw President Muhammadu Buhari, I was just smiling to myself that only God will have power that can decide when a man will die or what will happen to a man. If that is not Jubrin from Sudan, according to the narrative that they buried somebody in Saudi Arabia and everything. But 8 years after, 7 years after, look at the man looking younger and stronger.
You see, let me start by saying that perception is everything in politics. So if people keep saying that where is Bola Tinubu, and some people started pushing the narrative that he's incapacitated, that's why he will not be around, I can understand why his handlers decided to show him, because it's not as if they did this deliberately for that, but apparently this is the kind of workout that he does every time. And somebody must have looked at it and just felt, okay, fine, let us even push this out so that people will know that he's okay. And he used that opportunity to be able to talk to Nigerians to say, I'm ready for the job. But I can understand. You see, people should know one thing. People should not make big deal about somebody's health status. It's not a big deal. It's just that we are being hypocritical. What is important about somebody is that, is he fit enough to be able to do the job? Is he in a position to have the capacity to do the job? It's not that people should start to make song and dance of the fact that he went to do surgery at a time. The last time that I checked, Atiku Abubakar once also did that kind of operation, knee operation. You understand? Individuals in their homes have one ailment or the other. For example, I am 62 years. I've been managing gout forever. I have BP. I use BP drugs every day. You understand? Individuals have different things that they manage.
Once you are even over 40.
When you are over 40, there will be some medical conditions that you manage. There are some people, it's diabetics. Obasanjo managed diabetes for so many years.
So now?
You're not till now. That's what I'm saying. So when we don't, that somebody is not 100% fit is not an issue. Most people don't. Most people are not like that.
Have control.
Everybody has one ailment or the other. What is important is how you manage it, and if it does not affect your capacity to do the job. And since it does not affect his capacity to do the job, what is important to Nigerians is that does Asiwaju have the capacity to do the job? Yes. Does he have what we need at this time, at this stage of our life? Yes. Because when you look at him and you look at what he has done in the past, that is the man that Nigeria needs now. Because in 1999, when he became governor, he introduced so many things that have not happened in
Don't
Nigerian
let us
politics.
even go into the milk because you discover that you don't get to read of, the problems bedeviling this country and who can provide solution, and what you get to read, what you get to see is, candidates attacking or supporters attacking each other on things that are not necessary. Nigerians are not asking questions.
And if
What are we going to do with
that
subsidies?
Nigerians
We
should
don't
ask
know.
questions,
Security.
it is now.
Nobody's talking.
If there is a time that Nigerians should ask the right questions, demand certain things of those who want to rule us, it is now. But if we turn the campaign into just an avenue to abuse people, put down people, abuse those who disagree with you, you think that if some people don't share your own ideas, then they are not good enough, they are not human beings. No, that's not the issue. What we need is a transformational leader. At this time of our national history, we need a transformational leader, a leader who can really make those changes happen and happen quickly. If we don't get that kind of leader, we are in trouble as a country. I'm not campaigning for anybody. There was a governor who was making fun of me. He said, Tinubu man. So I asked him the question. I said, have you ever heard me on TVC campaigning for Tinubu? I said, if you can show me where I campaigned for Tinubu, then what calling me Tinubu man may make sense. I'm just a journalist, and I have no apologies for the things that I say. You can interpret my actions, because some people are now, they are the masters of reading body language. They said before the primaries, my body language showed that I wanted Tinubu to win. All we asked for was that the process should be transparent. Oh, no. We never campaigned for an individual. So if you were banking on the process being crooked so that you will win, of course it's going to pain you if somebody pushed for a transparent process and at the end of the day that victory eluded you. So this is the thing.
This is as ridiculous as somebody was wishing me happy birthday, and the next person said, APC journalist, happy birthday.
Yet, the people, do you know how many friends? You know the ridiculous thing? There are some people, some APC members. The people who have blocked me on Facebook, an overwhelming majority of them are APC people. The people don't want to see me, that if they have a gun, they will shoot me. Why? An overwhelming majority of them are APC because they see us talk about the truth. They see us complain about some of the bad ways that our country is being run. Yet you still see some ridiculous people say, it's a APC, this thing. Where APC where? Someone said I'm a card-carrying member. I said, oh, you do not fear God. You don't even believe God exists. That's why you can say I have an APC. Where did they issue the APC card to me? Where? Where did I ever attend an APC meeting?
Well, moving on now. Recent weeks have been a trend in the country's oil sector, reached alarming heights, with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited confirming that Nigeria loses about $700 million every month as a result of oil theft, deploying its awareness domain system in curbing onshore theft. The Nigerian Navy has promised to improve protection of hundreds of Nigerian oil fields against oil theft, as well as crack down on illegal refining activities across the country. This is one thing that we need to deal with, and a lot of people will say that we have saboteurs in and out of government that have been taking advantage of the country.
Yes, we do not have a choice. We have to defeat oil theft. You see, oil theft has always been there. Even during the dual military dictatorship of Buhari and Diagbo, they came up with death penalty for economic sabotage, and bunkering was deemed economic sabotage at that time. But at that time, we had so much investment in the sector. At that time, production was very high. Production was at its peak. That was the period when President David West, Nigeria's best petroleum minister of all time, pushed for OPEC to peg Nigeria's quota at 2.2 million barrels a day. But currently, we have not had any significant foreign investment in our oil sector for more than 4 years. Shell has not embarked on any significant production in our country in the last 3 years. Some oil companies are divesting, they are leaving our country. Even the marginal oil fields are not doing well. So what you will have is a situation in which production levels have already gone down as a result of divestment from the sector, as a result of production shortings as a result of those oil majors not producing at the level that they used to produce. So with that problem already there, accounting for major shortfall in production level, then added to rising oil theft, that is why it is this bad. If anyone says that the level of oil theft that they are talking about is not as high as that, we have people in government who are dishonest. You will never hear them talk about the fact that production levels have gone down because people like Shell are refusing to produce at optimum level because investment in that sector, major investment, have not happened in the last 4 or 5 years. Nobody is talking about the story that government is giving us that, oh, we can't meet our quota, OPEC quota, because there is so much oil theft. Oil theft does not account for all of, or at least we were told that 900,000 was the average that we produced for the month of August. It's not possible for oil theft to reach that level. And I understand what the chief of naval staff was saying, that the figures that people are bandying about, that it doesn't think, we are being told now that oil theft accounts for about 68 million liters a day. No matter how significant the level of oil theft is, it certainly has not reached that level. Why are they not talking about Shell and the rest of them? So some of the oil companies that have decided to leave Nigeria and all that, their production lines are still there. Nobody is producing through those production lines. There's no way that those shortings will not affect our output in the final analysis. I'm not saying that the level of oil theft is not worrisome. I'm saying that because in the past we had...
So that sector is bedeviled with several other problems.
Leading to the level of production. Yes. So if anyone tells you that, oh, oil theft is what has led to us not being able to meet our 2.2 million barrels daily quota from the OPEC, that person is extremely dishonest. No significant investment has happened in that sector in the last 4 to 5 years. Meanwhile, we have up to more than 40 Nigerians who have licenses. Some of them have oil blocks. What are they doing? What efforts are being made to ensure that we block the loopholes already created by Shell's activities and the fact that some oil companies are leaving our country?
I thought that sector used to be very attractive, that everybody scampered to.
Yes. Let me start by saying that I agree that we have problem of disinvestment and we have problem of shorting. But the reason for that is because the industry has been asking for a law for a long time, and it was just passed recently. So people are not encouraged to bring their investment there because of a lot of problem that is bedeviling that area. Then the second problem has to do with government. Instead of, yes, when they sell some marginal fees, they were able to make a lot of money on it, but there are so many people holding licenses for oil blocks that do not have the resources to develop. Prior to that, people, they don't even have the resources, they don't have the financial resources to do it, because exploration is high-skill business. It's high-risk business. You need a lot of money to be able to exploit for oil. Before, the majors, because of the kind of money they were making, had a lot of investment in the sector. So when you have an oil block, it is easy for you to be able to go into partnership with them. You understand? If you look at the Alakijas, their fanfare oil, and the agreement that they have with Chevron, there are a lot of people who have licenses, but they are not doing real exploration. But that notwithstanding, another major problem there is oil theft. And it is the people in government and in the Navy that are stealing the oil. If you have friends, if you talk to people within the Navy...
They just say the armed forces.
They just armed forces. But it's not, because the Navy that has the primary duty to do that protection. And everybody knows, if you talk to people...
They are all involved, though.
Yes, but the majority of the people, if you talk to people, there are some positions, there are some postings that are deemed to be very lucrative postings. And you cannot. Yes, I agree that there have always been bunkering. It has always been there. That is true that there have always been oil theft. Don't forget that during the time of Jonathan, there were companies that were allowed to protect the pipelines to be able to reduce oil theft. So part of the problem that this government made was that when this government came to be, the argument was that why should we pay individuals to protect pipelines when we have the Nigerian Navy? And they revoked those contracts, and we have realized that it became free for all. But my own argument is that you cannot steal the kind of oil that they steal in our land without the coalition of members of the armed forces and people in NNPC. It's so difficult to do that. You see, little bunkering is just the one that you do, and you now go and to feed your private refinery. But the ones that you steal and you take offshore, you have to know, it has to be people in NNPC and people in the armed forces that can make that happen. That's the reality. So if the Navy says that they want to do those things, I'm happy. It shows that they are doing what they are supposed to do. That is what is expected of them.
They made some arrests recently.
Yeah, that is what is expected of them, because it is part of the primary job of the Navy is to protect our territorial waters. And most of these oil business happen within our territorial waters.
Jimmy, why, as in the federal government, this is not, it didn't start from those governments. It has always been a business that has been there. Is it the willpower to stop it?
Again, I am concerned about the lack of transparency in dealing with the Nigerian people. In July, the federal government described the rate at which international oil companies were leaving Nigeria as a threat to the oil business in our country. Now, when they leave, there's no doubt that shorting will happen. But when you are hearing them talk about the fact that we can't meet our target, how many times do you hear them say, break it down, that this is the reason? Now the same government is now challenging local oil companies that, look, this is your opportunity to fill the void created by these people. But we have a problem with oil theft, no doubt about it. But to try to couch some of the problems happening, the fact that we are not seeing fresh investment in that sector. Why are the Saudis doing very well? If Saudi can come out and tell us that in just one quarter they made a profit of $48 billion, it is because they are constantly investing in that sector. They are seeing more and more investment coming into that sector as well. But that's not what we are seeing. And if we don't find a way, even if we try to minimize the level of oil theft, we will still not be able to get to our previous level of output. Because now we are number 3 in Africa. We used to be number 1. Angola and Libya, that is a failed state, a war-torn country. Libya has overtaken us already. So there are more problems bedeviling that sector than Nigerians have been made to know. But we want to see, frankly, we want to see something done drastically too about the level of oil theft. At least if we can reduce that, it will show up our production output. And when things improve in our country, including security and all that, and foreign oil companies can come in, then we will be able to get back to where we used to be. So we can only appeal to the armed forces. I know that wherever you have them, there are bad eggs. Bad eggs who will not conform with the law. Bad eggs who will be even giving information against their own colleagues. If soldiers can be selling military uniform to bandits,
Right.
I mean, there are bad eggs in the armed forces. And some of those bad eggs are involved in what we are talking about. So beyond even improving their capacity to defend our territorial waters and put an end to this nonsense going on, they also need to look within and identify the bad eggs that are conniving with the enemies of the Nigerian state to steal us blind.
All right, we'll take this break. When we come back, we try to speak with the spokesperson of the Nigerian Navy. We'll be right back after this time out.
For more than 2030, the Lagos Economic Summit has contributed to the socio-economic and infrastructural development in Lagos State back to back. Some of the ideas from the previous Enyigbeti are what we now point to as the attractions of Lagos to the world. Here is another opportunity to discuss the advancement agenda of Lagos. Enyigbeti, the private sector-led participatory forum and incubating ground for the ideas that define Lagos, is holding from October 11th to 12th, 2022. Are you a business leader, a professional, an entrepreneur, an academic, a techie, or in any other category with Lagos on your mind? Register at www.enyigbetisummit.com to attend the summit holding at Eko Hotels and Suites, or to join Enyigbeti 2022 Summit online. Come forward with your thoughts. Let's set an implementable agenda for a greater Lagos.
This blessing be yours forever to keep a calm and peaceful sleep.
Removes mosquitoes so you can sleep a calm and peaceful sleep. Good night, Electric.
Good afternoon, Oga. Now you be the landlord.
Yes, Nami.
Oga landlord, me go need one room for this your house, so.
Okay, sure you get work where you dey do.
Yes, I be nurse.
You know go dey owe me be that now.
Now how much be your rent, safe?
Not just 90,000 naira. Wait, this guy, where you come from, Sef?
Oga, I come from Akamata.
Akamata? No talk am again. My spirit and Akamata people no dey ever join.
Oga, wetin happen now?
Come over for my compound. Na so baba thing na people sabi do for that Akamata. Come over for here.
Haba, Papa, wetin this innocent girl do you now? Now people like you, they spoil Nigeria, Papa.
I think you don't see am now. My people they talk say jollof rice wey dey for bottom pot today go dey top of cooler tomorrow. As I take need you now, so you self need me. Because now one mama we get we be Nigeria. Make we love ourselves, because now only together we go fit make our country better for us and our children them. One heart plus one love equals better Nigeria. Now the Center for Democracy and Development CDD, with support from the UK government, they bring in this message.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Business lives on the fast track of numbers. Business is a strange world where low numbers mean something different. And its currency are speed and time. Finding the open doors of mainstream is not just good business, it's the start of the business. Join us every weekend on Business Week.
Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, and we have Babajide Kolade Otitoju in the studio and Mayor Akipelu. We are now joined by Commodore Adedotun Olukayode Ayovon, the spokesperson of the Nigerian Navy, to throw more lights on what the Navy is doing to bring the massive theft of Nigerian oil to an end. He joins us from our studio in Abuja. Thank you for staying with us. Now, The Chief of Naval Staff appeared on a program recently where he talked about crude oil thefts. How bad is the situation?
Good evening, Mr. Ayo.
Good evening.
Mr. Babajide and Mr. Mayor, and good evening to our viewers.
Good evening.
Okay, the situation was very bad until around the 1st of April, when the Nigerian Navy launched the Operation Dakata Dabarau, which means stop the thief in Hausa language. The Nigerian Navy bases, forward operation bases, ships, as well as helicopters and the entire assets of the Navy, as well as the Maritime Domain Awareness System, which is the surveillance system that the Navy uses. Something similar to your CCTV, have all been mobilized for this operation. As I speak to you, our men patrol the creeks on a daily basis to ensure that the locals that are involved in vandalizing pipelines to siphon crude oil to supply their illegal artisan refineries are denied that access and are denied whatever product they've stolen. The last computation we made, we saw that the Navy has saved or denied the thieves products to the tune of above 30 billion naira. Also, the Navy is working closely with NNPCL, with whom the Operation Dakata Dabarau was launched on the 1st of April, to put in place measures also at the offshore. I'm talking particularly about the physicalization, which was there until 1989, whereby you have naval officers at loading terminals to look at the meter reading when these ocean-going vessels and tankers come to load. So that when a vessel is coming to load, say she has approval to load 200,000 barrels, she's not coming with she's not coming with something else that is larger than that. And we have other independent weaknesses to see that the meter reading is exactly what the tanker nomination from NNPCL indicates. I recall some cities, particularly Port Harcourt, until the earlier part of this year, had issues with carbon chutes, whereby you take a walk in the evening, you find out that your nostrils are filled with blackish substances. The whole house, the floor, the atmosphere is saturated with carbon soot as a result of the operation of these illegal refining sites. I have it on good record that some of those things have reduced, and the Navy will not leave any stone unturned in our effort to ensure that those that have decided to take up the illegal business of crude oil refinery will not have liberty of action, freedom of action, so to say.
Okay.
I know that in so many quarters, a lot of figures have been given. We've listened to people from Nupeng and Pengasin say that the nation is losing about 600,000 barrels a day and all that and all that. I believe if the figures can be verified from NNPCL, a lot of the things that is being lost, as was rightly said, is as a result of shut-ins because of the fear of vandalization of pipelines. And it also brings us to the issue of the award of the pipeline contracts. Well, as a Navy, we were not part of that decision, but we know that if the ex-agitators have brought to the table loyalty, commitment, and patriotism to protect the pipelines in their region, just like we employ the use of the civilian JTF in the northeast for the operation against insurgency and terrorism, I think we could as well give them a try. So these are the position. So this is the position with respect to
Commodore. That means the Navy is not really. The Navy is not opposed to the award of this contract to a non-state actor. That's what you are saying.
No, the Navy is not opposed to it because we are apolitical. We were not part of the decision. Though I know that in some quarters, some persons have said, why didn't you spread it around so that you can have those that are protecting it in Bayelsa, in Rivers, in Delta State, as it were. And I know that those that are concerned have had those thoughts and opinions from different persons.
Okay, let's revisit the incident involving the tanker MT Heroic Idun. Can you tell us exactly what happened?
Okay, MT Heroic Idun, motor tanker Heroic Idun, a Marshall Island flagged vessel, was detected by the Nigerian Navy's Maritime Domain Awareness System within our exclusive economic zone, that's 200 nautical miles from the coastline southwards, on the 7th of August. On that particular day, one of our vessels was at sea, an inshore patrol vessel, and the inshore patrol vessel accosted by interrogating MT Heroic Idun, knowing fully well that her name was not on the tanker nomination list given by NNPCL. And MT Heroic Idun was told to proceed to Bonny Anchorage to await clearance, since she claimed that she had clearance, but we knew that she did not have clearance. And when she was told to proceed to Bonny Anchorage, Akpo oil field, where she was attempting to go to load, is about 85 nautical miles from the Bonny Fairway Buoy. That's about 170 kilometers. So it's actually in the exclusive economic zone, where vessels have right of innocent passage and what have you. What prompted the vessel to interrogate and accost her was when they saw that she was proceeding to the loading point, and she was told to stop and proceed to Bonny Anchorage. The vessel refused and said she had instructions from her agent not to take instructions from the Navy. And as a result of that, she altered course and proceeded to the joint maritime development zone between Nigeria and Sao Tome and Principe. Eventually, under the Yaoundé architecture, which is a sub-regional arrangement in ECOWAS and Central Africa and ECLAS, the vessel was arrested under the Yaoundé architecture arrangement through coordination and cooperation within the states in the Gulf of Guinea. She was arrested at Equatorial Guinea by Captain David, an Equatorian Guinean ship. As we speak, the vessel is still under the custody of the authorities of Equatorial Guinea. Some persons have said and we wonder where they got the information from, that the vessel was in our waters for about 2 months and that she had loaded about 2 million. The statement concerning MT Heroic Edun, Nigerian Navy also held a press conference to clear the air on MT Heroic Edun. And the Nigerian Navy still maintains and retains her stand as to what particularly happened that night of 7th of August when MT Heroic Edun was interrogated by our ship.
No, but
I also have
no charges have been
authority that the vessel also committed some infractions in equatorial Guinea waters, and as a result of that, she is being investigated. And the process to repatriate her, to get up, to come back to Nigerian waters has also been initiated by the appropriate superior authorities in our country.
All right, we quickly take this breather. When we come back, we'll see with Commodore Adedotun Olukayode Ayovon.
For more than 20 years, Enyigbeti, the Lagos Economic Summit, has contributed to the socio-economic and infrastructural development in Lagos State back to back. Some of the ideas from the previous Enyigbeti are what we now point to as the attractions of Lagos to the world. Here is another opportunity to discuss the advancement agenda of Lagos. Enyigbeti, the private sector-led participatory forum and incubating ground for the ideas that define Lagos, is holding from October 11th to 12th, 2022. Are you a business leader, a professional, an entrepreneur, an academic, a techie, or in any other category with Lagos on your mind? Register at www.enyigbetisummit.com to attend the summit holding at Eko Hotels and Suites, or to join Enyigbeti 2022 Summit online. Come forward with your thoughts. Let's set an implementable agenda for a greater Lagos.
Hello, it's nice to see you again. It's a good day at First Fountain Court. You know we love sharing our progress with you and taking you every step of the way. The last time we were here, electricals, POPs were ongoing, and today a whole new level has been unlocked, and we are very excited because we are currently painting our homes, tidying our homes, and if you look right there is the utility home, fresh water, clean water, and at the top of this is a gym house. We are really excited, and if you haven't subscribed to First Fountain Home, now is the time. Call the numbers on your screen or visit our website.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Journalist Hangout, and we've been talking to the spokesman of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Adedotun Olukayode Ayovon. Mayor.
Commodore, it's no longer news that European tankers and business interests are ready buyers of stolen Nigerian crude. How do you put an end to this?
Okay. Just like you said, there is no longer news. The Nigerian Navy has put in place our surveillance capability based on the vessels that are approved by NNPCL to come to our terminals to load crude. When the names of the vessels reach naval headquarters, they are keyed into the maritime domain awareness assets, such that any vessel that is spotted within our waters without its name being on that list automatically raises an alarm. That was the same thing that happened in the case of MT Heroic Edun. I know that a lot of persons still hold the misconception as to what happens out there. but the maritime surveillance capability of the Nigerian Navy is a state-of-the-art asset that we don't even have in some developed countries. It is just like I said, the CCTV that we have in our homes and in our offices that allows you to have 24/7 surveillance of our waters. As long as it's on the surface of the water, we spot it at our regional control centers and at our command control center in Abuja here. And the vessels that are above 300 tons above us are under normal circumstances to have the automatic identification system on. So we have that surveillance system, and at any time, any vessel proceeding to Braz Terminal, Bonny Terminal, or any of the oil fields, we have the document from NNPCA to authenticate whether that vessel is nominated to load or not. And this is done 24/7. So that is what we have in place to check. I just need to mention that the Trinity of Action, which is the tripod operational approach of the Nigerian Navy, includes surveillance, which is with our maritime domain awareness system, Falcon Eye alignment particularly, response, which is with our vessels and our helicopters, and law enforcement, which is also carried out with our vessels out there at sea. So this is the approach that we have put in place, and this is the approach that we will maintain, as well as collaboration with other Gulf of Guinea nations under the Yaoundé architecture.
Let's talk about piracy. Let's talk about piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. What was the situation like in the last 1 year? Have we been able to make some progress in that area?
Yes, we have made progress in the area of piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. In the last 7 months or thereabouts, there have been no record of attacks in our waters. I have the bar charts there that shows the trend as it has been since 2015. As a matter of fact, we have it now that the International Maritime Bureau has delisted Nigeria from piracy Pronations. That was around March this year. And the curve has flattened such that in the last 27 years, the record of piracy has not been seen as low as it is today. It has been as a result of hard work on the part of the Navy, as well as collaboration with maritime stakeholders and regional partners and strategic partners also, to ensure that our waters are safe for maritime commerce, trade, and safe use of our waters.
Now, then, the Navy some time ago inaugurated a maritime awareness program. Walk us through it.
Okay, the maritime awareness program that I recall was sometimes on the 21st of June this year at the World Hydro Day celebration that took place in Victoria Island in Lagos. It was brought to the fore that there is a dread of human resource, the willingness on the part of our young men and women to study hydrography, which is very germane for a maritime nation. As a result of that, there was the need to create awareness in the young minds to take up interest in hydrography, and the Navy went to Lagos, Port Harcourt, as well as some schools in Kano State. We also hold seminars, workshops, and conference regularly to deal with what some people call sea blindness, because here in Africa, here in our clime, a lot of people do not know the significance and the importance of the oceans. In many quarters now, they are talking about blue economy, good and effective ocean governance, and the use of the oceans to enrich the maritime nation. So just June this year, at the 66th anniversary of the Nigerian Navy, the Navy hosted about 38 heads of navies from Africa and beyond Africa to an international maritime conference which held at One in Rivers State. The fallout of that conference was the Port Harcourt Statement, which is also to further drive the establishment of a regional task force to deal with maritime infractions and criminalities in the Gulf of Guinea in our waters.
Mm-hmm. We understand
that. A lot is being done to create that awareness at the strategic level, at the regional level.
Okay, Commodore, our time is fast spent.
The secondary school level.
Okay, Commodore.
It might interest you to know that we also have about 9 Nigerian Navy secondary schools.
Okay,
and the Nigerian Navy military school at Ikotetuen in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay. Commodore, we understand.
Apart from the normal academics that they go through, they also have an eye-opener, so to say, as to the importance of our waters.
Okay, Commodore. Yeah, we understand that you have more platforms in your inventory. What value do they add to the Navy's desire to keep our territorial waters safe?
Okay, the platforms of paramount importance, because the platforms are what enables us to maintain presence at sea. You know, the maritime domain is a very peculiar domain. The waters of the world account for about 71% of the entire earth crust. In our nation here, we have about 84,000 square nautical miles of maritime heritage. So we give much gratitude, and we are most grateful to Mr. President, who has enabled the Navy to sustain our fleet recapitalization efforts with the acquisition of our recent landing ship transport, Nigerian Navy ship Kada, that arrived Nigeria on the 27th of May. NNS Kada has the sea lift capability to carry out amphibious operation with our army counterparts, Nigerian Army. Okay. NNS Kada also has capacity for humanitarian and maritime operations.
Our time is fast spent. I want to thank you, the spokesperson of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Adedotun Olukayode Ayo Von. Jide, it's nice to get the other side of the story. To always get the other side of this.
We'll have him again. So
yes, it's always good.
I understand they are building their own ships now.
Yes, so they have beyond the NNS Ayadu, Beecroft. They are building their own
from the scratch. And that's commendable.
That's warships.
Yes.
I'll thank you, Mayor Akipelu.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution today. And the master himself, Babajide Kolade. Thank you for always being there.
Happy celebration.
Yes, sir. And that's all our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. And don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubako. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.